Cross-border wholesale payments are financial transactions conducted between central banks, private sector banks, corporations, and other institutions. Foreign exchange spot trades are among the most common cross-border wholesale transactions. These transactions are conducted bilaterally between central banks and private sector financial institutions, as well as multilaterally between various counterparties. The foreign exchange market is the largest wholesale market in the world, with over $7 trillion in daily turnover. Enabling safe, fast, low-cost, transparent, and accessible wholesale cross-border transactions is critical to the functioning of the global economy. Currently, cross-border transactions function well, but there are opportunities for improvement. Today, most foreign exchange transactions take 2 days to settle. During this period, payment senders and recipients are exposed to settlement, counterparty, and credit risk, which, among other things, can hinder an institution's ability to readily access liquidity. Project Cedar, the inaugural experiment from the New York Fed's New York Innovation Center, explores ways to improve cross-border wholesale payments using distributed ledger technology, specifically blockchain. In a simulated foreign exchange spot transaction, Project Cedar introduced a wholesale central bank digital currency prototype to test whether using blockchain technology would improve speed, cost, and access to cross-border wholesale payments. The Project Cedar experiment revealed 3 key findings that show cross-border payments supported by blockchain technology can deliver faster, simultaneous, and safer payment settlement. First, faster, instantaneous payments by settling transactions in under 15 seconds in most cases, a vast improvement from the current typical 2-day settlement period. Second, reduced counterparty settlement risk by supporting simultaneous or atomic transaction settlement for payment senders and receivers alike. Third, more safe, transparent, and flexible transactions, accessible to a wider range of financial institutions, by enabling availability of payments on a 24/7 365 basis and increasing interoperability between multiple ledgers using the same technology stack and representing different currencies, private sector banks, and central banks. Project Cedar demonstrates the potential of distributed ledger technology to improve the safety, speed, and accessibility of wholesale cross-border payments. Visit the New York Innovation Center website to learn more about Project Cedar and how we are supporting central bank innovation.
What's up, guys? It is Wednesday, February 15th, 4:49 p.m. And boy, what a hell of a day. Crazy ass day here, and it was beautiful. So in the Discord, we're covering it real time, and basically everybody's up big right now. We're doing the Femex trades. Me myself, I had just secured like 6,000 today, and you know what I did? I bought back the spot holdings of the coins that we've been doing the pair-to-pair swaps with, and we swapped into Chain. Chain was crushing it. Kind of pulled back a little bit today, only 5 or 10%, but you got to give a little back when you give 70% in 5 days, right? So as Chain cooled off, all these other coins started popping off. Bitcoin up and went to a new all-time high today for the year. And so we saw the other coins pop up. What I did was I had my Femex long trade in XRP XLM. And what I did was when we got the $5,000, $6,000 profit on it, we transferred it out of the contract account right into spot. We bought the coins back, the Avalanche, the Tezos, the XRP, the XLM that we had originally swapped, and we secured it back on spot holdings. We sent it back to the exchanges, some back to the ledger, and now all that chain that we have is basically house money. So that's one way to play it as far as the pair-to-pair goes, and kind of tagging in the Femex derivatives contract trading with it. You can crush it. I mean, like, we're getting the January vibes all over again. The proof of gains back in January were crazy. Now the proof of gains for February are seeming to line up, and we might even hit it even bigger for February. So I'm excited. I hope you guys are too. But this video is not about trading. It's about the Project Cedar. So foreign exchange spot settlement in 10 seconds. New York Fed releases results of wholesale CBDC research. Project Cedar successfully used custom distributed ledger technology to settle hypothetical transactions quickly from the perspective of the Federal Reserve. So this is a whole report that they put out. And in it, they were talking about, Project Cedar Phase 1 revealed promising applications of blockchain technology. This is the director of the New York Fed Innovation Center. And in modernizing critical payments infrastructure, and our inaugural experiment provides a strategic launch pad for further research and development regarding the future of money and payments from the U.S. perspective. Boom, there we go. So this is something we knew about back in November, but I did a little deep dive in and I found some connections here. So let's go into this. So this was New York Fed launches phase 2 of its study into a US dollar CBDC. Following the successful completion of the first phase of Project Cedar, a study by the Federal Reserve Bank of New York that is exploring the technical framework for a theoretical wholesale central bank digital currency, the central bank has announced the launch of phase 2. Project Cedar Phase 2 and Ubin Plus is a joint effort between the New York Fed's New York Innovation Center and the Monetary Authority of Singapore, intended to investigate how wholesale CBDCs can improve the efficiency of cross-border wholesale payments involving multiple currencies. Ubin Plus is the Monetary Authority of Singapore's collaborative initiative with international partners to improve efficiency and reduce the risk of cross-border foreign exchange settlement through the advancement of cross-border connectivity and interoperability of wholesale digital currencies. So according to the announcement, Phase 2 will enhance designs for atomic settlement of cross-border cross-currency transactions, leveraging wholesale CBDCs as a settlement asset. This will require establishing connectivity across multiple heterogeneous simulated currency ledgers. Ultimately, the goal is to reduce settlement risk, which is a key pain point in cross-border cross-currency transactions, the statement said. Building off Phase 1, the Project Cedar Phase 2 collaboration will provide further visibility into the functionality and interoperability of multi-currency ledger networks utilizing their own unique designs. With the rising popularity of digital assets and stablecoins, regulators are looking to establish CBDCs in various forms to ensure that their currencies remain competitive and appealing to end users. So this advances global efforts to evaluate the benefits of wholesale CBDCs and help build capabilities for future financial infrastructure that is open and interoperable. The project takes a practical approach and designs for any future wholesale CBDC to be interoperable across networks while maintaining each network's autonomy. So the central bank stressed that the ongoing experiment isn't intended to advance any specific policy outcome. So why would they waste their time doing it, right? And it does not mean that the Fed will be making a decision on the issuance of a retail or wholesale CBDC anytime soon. A report detailing the experiment and findings of Project Cedar will be released in 2023. It's been about 3 months since that point, so I'd be expecting something here soon. Remember, FedNow payment, the new FedNow service, launching, I believe, around May, June, or July this year. A lot of things happening, and we're getting closer and closer to those dates. So the results of Phase 1 were released November 4th, and it found that using a wholesale CBDC prototype to facilitate transactions supported by blockchain technology could in fact improve the speed and safety of cross-border wholesale payments. But we've found a couple of buzzwords in here. So atomic settlement. We saw wholesale CBDCs, interoperability, multiple ledgers, heterogeneous ledgers connecting with each other, connectivity, cross-currency transactions, a lot of stuff. So now let's go into the next thing. I don't think this is it right here. It's actually this one. So we all know this, the Central Bank Digital Currency Policymaker Toolkit, World Economic Forum, Center of the Fourth Industrial Revolution, January 2020. And if we go all the way to the bottom, I know we've seen it many times, but we always got to look at it because it just spells it out right there. The most relevant for wholesale central bank digital currency, crypto assets designed for inter or intra-bank payments and settlements. Examples, JPM coin or XRP. JPM coin, who would want to use something that JP Morgan's written all over it? XRP it's a neutral bridge asset, no central authority over it, whereas JPM coin seems like they are the central authority over it. So XRP is the chosen one for this use case for wholesale CBDC, crypto assets designed for inter or intra-bank payments and settlements. But let's keep going because we have this. So the actual report, Project Cedar. As we go down here, it talks about a wholesale CBDC. What is it, etc. Basically, phase 1 was successful, 12 weeks undertaking. Yep, we know that. Now let's keep going down here, and it talks about the problem, and the same stuff that Ripple says. The foreign exchange market is the largest wholesale market in the world with a daily turnover over 7 trillion. Given the size and breadth of this global market, the potential impacts of technological innovation on its operations and processes are substantial. This is huge stuff, and we can own the asset that's going to bridge all this. Now, if we keep going down, use case. So right. So FX spot transaction was selected as a use case. So asset type, market structure, complexity. Let's go down here because we have this. So we have, no, that's not it. So interoperability, right? Atomic settlement, instantaneous settlement. So it's talking about the different type of things here. So define as fewer than 30 seconds, defined as payment versus payment settlement, in which both legs of the transaction are settled simultaneously or not at all. Interoperability, defined as interaction across separate homogeneous ledgers to settle the transaction. As we keep going down, it talks about the solution concept, but what we want to go to is this. So I saw this asset transfer mechanism, hash time lock contracts. And also, if we go down here, let's see. So it says, this indicates that a modular ecosystem of ledgers has the potential for continued scalability, and the DLT could enable atomic settlement faster than the current industry standard of 2 days. Should processes that were abstracted in phase 1 prototypes, such as compliance checks and market making, be similarly streamlined? Let's keep going down here. So looking ahead, as part of its continued wholesale CBDC research, the New York Innovation Center will next explore questions related to interoperability and ledger design, including how to achieve concurrence and certainty in settlement across different blockchain-based payment systems. So then I looked up that hash time lock contracts, and number 4, Interledger, hash time lock agreements. So Interledger provides secure multi-hop payments using conditional transfers. Some ledgers natively provide conditional transfers using hash time lock contracts. However, not all ledgers support this, but Interledger does. So now let's keep going because I found this. So Aalto University School of Electrical Engineering, Interledger Theory and Practice. We go down here and it's talking about public, consortium, private, overview of DLT landscape, brief introduction to smart contracts. Let's keep going down. Permission DLTs, typically Byzantine consensus based. Let's keep going. We have DLT landscape. So Bitcoin, Ethereum are permissionless, proof of work consensus, whereas Stellar is permissionless, but a Byzantine consensus, which is what you want to see when we're talking about enterprise level stuff. Then Ripple, Hyperledger, Corda are Byzantine consensus, but identity based. So permissioned. Now, if we keep going down, you can see that why Interledger. So it kind of gives a nice graphic for it, but it talks about atomic cross-chain transactions, side chains, bridging, payments to channels, ledgers of ledgers, interledger protocol, and it goes through each one. So atomic cross-chain transactions, general technology to achieve transaction atomicity between 2 ledgers, requires primitive scripting from the ledger, does not require a trusted third party. So you have Alice and Bob and the hash lock secret. So all those same kind of verbiage is there because the next thing I'm going to show you is this publication, Interledger Approaches. And in here, it talks about the examples of Alice and Bob. And it talks about atomic swaps, blockchain, cross-chain transaction, distributed ledger technologies, hash locks, interledger protocol, sidechains, time locks. It talks about the Web3 consortium and interledger protocol. And if we go down, what it talks about is the interledger being like the universal ledger in a sense. Let me see if I can find it here. I had it up before, but let's see. So here we go. So describe the Uberledger framework, which is a type of ledger of ledgers approach, and it is discussed in section 8. describes multi-blockchain digital currency, and MBDC, a permission blockchain technology making use of multi-blockchain architecture targeting central bank transaction systems. Briefly mentioned inter-blockchain communication using the example Cosmos. So it used Cosmos as an example here. It talks about hash locks, all this stuff. So atomic cross-chain transactions. Alice and Bob wish to trade digital assets on 2 blockchains. So the same examples. And if we keep going, we have the hash time lock contracts here. It's talking about Interledger in here, Alice and Bob. We go down more. There was something that, I think it was in the summary. So the World Wide Web Consortium proposed a generic protocol to enable the secure transfer of funds across any 2 ledgers, a protocol known as the Interledger protocol. So it's saying that the Interledger protocol here, so ILP version 4, it goes down and it talks about Ripple and XRP. So I think I might have missed it though. Let me just see real quick. Here we go. So yeah, this is it. So describe the Uber Ledger framework, a hierarchical meta blockchain layer and an open source initiative that aimed at preserving all information related to past transactions across blockchains. Ripple has the goal of supporting global money transfers using blockchains. Ripple has been instrumental in developing the Interledger protocol. However, in the most recent incarnation, ILP version 4 does not rely on DLTs for the payments or asset transfers. However, Ripple has also developed XRP, Ripple's coin or digital asset for payments in its own blockchain, the Ripple Consensus Ledger, which serves as the root ledger for XRP, with decentralized governance and consensus mechanism with the goal of global payments and value exchange between any type of ledgers and for various types of assets. Thus, Ripple allows payments and asset exchanges across all types of ledgers, from traditional bank ledgers and fiat currencies to tokens on blockchains, cryptocurrencies and wallets, and arbitrary type of assets. Therefore, it can be considered a ledger of ledgers technology, proclaiming corresponding properties, for instance, faster and cheaper transactions than traditional public blockchains such as Bitcoin and Ethereum, but with similar decentralized characteristics. However, Ripple expects that ILP will enhance the reach and impact of the Ripple Consensus Ripple Consensus Ledger, and it will expand its role in global payments. The aforementioned project attempts to build yet another distributed ledger technology to allow a set of underlying blockchains, parachains, and sidechains to pass information and value between each other. There we go. So as we go down, and it talks about the difference between transfer or exchange of value. So hash lock and time lock mechanisms are used to exchange the value tokens between 2 parties on 2 blockchains. Hence the atomic cross-chain transactions across a network. Interledger protocol and some bridging solutions that use hash and time lock mechanisms implement the exchange of value, whereas all the other solutions implement the transfer of value. This was something that kind of rang a bell to me. So this is huge because it's the exchange value, not the transfer of value, that makes the token valuable. So whereby value is locked or destroyed on a chain or unlocked or created on another, a key difference is that the exchange of value is dependent on the exchange rate of the assets being traded, which is not the case when value is transferred. When value is transferred, the corresponding assets are controlled by the new chain. So there we go. And now let's keep going down. So it talks about a conclusion. So the distributed ledgers community has acknowledged the gains that can be achieved from utilizing the interconnection of multiple ledgers with different features and advantages, while also supporting innovation, which is critical to the field. Because there are no really established standards for combining several DLTs in the areas under continuous development, our focus in the survey has been to identify the repeating pattern that are shared among the various solutions proposed, which include atomic cross-chain transactions, sidechains, bridging approaches, transactions across networks of payment channels, ledgers of ledger approaches, and the Interledger protocol. So as we go down, the first is whether the solution supports the transfer or the exchange of value. And I believe Interledger does both. So there we go, both. So Interledger approaches are thus very promising. So the information recorded in blockchains includes food production storage data acquired through diverse types of sensors. Various aspects of the process are controlled through actuation to guarantee safety and quality. However, the supply chain is long, with many independent transportation companies. So these actors will be hard to agree on a single ledger, in particular since different ledgers excel at different use cases. Interledger approaches are thus very promising. And if we all remember this document here, by Everest, an NTT data company, Ripple Solution, payment software that banks integrate to settle funds in real time with other banks. So Ripple Solution with the actual banks, but ILP, Interledger Protocol, to connect them all. All these different kind of ledgers, right? ILP is going to sit it's like the lifeblood that just flows through. It sits and kind of carries everything around. It's the exchange and the value transfer. So huge. So when we're talking about Project Cedar and looking ahead to this Project Cedar 2 and with Ubin Plus as part of its continued wholesale Cbdc research, and we know what's designed for wholesale Cbdc for crypto assets designed for intrabank payments and settlements, XRP. So when we're looking at this and they're trying to explore questions related to interoperability and ledger design, including how to achieve concurrence and certainty in settlement across different blockchain-based payment systems, I think we know the answer. So that's it for this video. My speculation is that they're going to be using Interledger Protocol as well as Ripple as well as XRP. And if you like what I shared with you today, you want me to do more videos like this where I go deep and I look at certain documents and I try to connect the dots here by finding other documents, verbiage, etc., then subscribe, hit the notification bell, leave a like, leave a comment, let me know. Maybe you found another document that kind of goes along with this. Let me know in the comments. And also, come join the Discord. I'll put the link in the bio. It is absolutely popping off right now because the proof of gains are unreal. Today alone was just nuts. Today, I love days like these, and the market's getting spicy again. So what are you waiting for? Come join Stargate, where we're giving the layups, we're giving the gems, and we're going to continue to do that all throughout this year and until the bull runs over and in the bear run. We're not going anywhere. We've been here for a long time, that's for sure. So I will see you guys in the Discord. Say what up when you get there. I'll say what up back. My name is Rob at Stargate, and I will see you guys in the next video.